Alright, today we're gonna show you how to take off and inspect disc brakes. First thing you want to do is remove all the lug nuts. After you take the tire off, you're going to come back here and remove this bolt and then this bolt down here on the caliper. Alright, once you got those two bolts out, you're going to want to pry off the caliper. Sometimes these can be a little stuck. Alright, now the caliper's off, and these are your brake pads, right here. And you're going to want to see how much life is in them. You can get a tool that measures how much pad is actually left. These actually look pretty good, so we're going to put these back on here. These pads are in pretty good shape, so we're not going to be replacing them today, but we are going to be checking the ones on the other side, and hopefully they look the same. When you're putting your caliper back on, you might have a little trouble because you need to compress the caliper. What you can do is get a block of wood and a C-clamp and compress it down where this part right here goes back, and then you can slide your caliper and discs back on. Once you get your caliper collapsed and you put your pads back in, it's time to put these two bolts back in, and then you're all back together and you can put the tire back on. So this one goes right through here. Or at least it should. There we go. Get that one in there started. And take your other one, right in this hole right here. Hold on, I gotta put the camera down real quick. Alright, once you got those two bolts in, you're going to get in here and tighten them up. Make sure they're pretty snug. And get down here, get the other one. And you're going to want to go back in with a ratchet and make sure they're pretty tight. There is probably a torque spec on it. I don't know what that torque spec is, so just tighten them down pretty good. Once those are pretty tight, then it's time to put your tire back on. Once you got the caliper and the bolts back on, it's time to put your tire back on and your lug nuts, and then your hubcap. Alright, once you got the tire back on, it's time to put your lug nuts back on. Once you got them threaded on by hand, you can go in with an impact. Go to make sure you tighten them in a crisscross pattern. Once you got that done, then you can lower your vehicle. Once you got all your lug nuts on, it's time to lower down the vehicle. There you go. This is me doing the other side. The pads were in perfect shape, so I just put it all back together. Thank you for watching.